Hello everyone. Last time we established that V'nigdashti b'toch b'nei Yisrael, Adavar shebikdusha, like Kaddish, Kedusha, Baruch Hu, Chazarat Hashatz, laning, duchening can only be done in the Minyan, and everyone agrees that means 10 people above the age of Bar-Mitzva and men. However, they disagree about the source. The Talmud Bavli in Maseches Megillah said we learned it from a conglomeration of the sin of the spies with the rebellion of Korach. But the Yerushalmi brings a point of view that says we learned it from the brothers of Yosef, 10 out of the 12, that went down to Egypt to get food during the lifetime of their father. And we ended with the question, why does it make a difference to us? Bottom line is, I can learn it from here, I can learn it from there, it's 10. Well, I believe there is a very important halachic ramification, and that is the following question. You have 9 people in a shul and a kid under bar mitzvah. Can you add him in to the count and say we have a minyan or not? The Gemara in Masechet Brachot Daf Mem Zayin Amud Bet brings the opinion of Ribal that a katan osinato snifla asara. You can make him the 10th, not 9th plus 10th, but the last person of the minyan to complete the minyan. So 9 over bar mitzvah, 1 under bar mitzvah can work. The Tosfot Harosh says, if the source of the minyan is v'nikdashti betoch b'nei Yisrael, lo shna gdolim, lo shna ktanim, krinan be betoch b'nei Yisrael. If your source is the children of Israel, that's the entire Jewish nation, both over bar mitzvah and under bar mitzvah. Yes, we have a requirement to have tet gdolim. You need to have 10 people above the age of bar mitzvah to even start dealing with it. But if you do, you have yourself a b'nei Yisrael. The Tosfos says in the name of Rabbeinu Tam, halacha keribal, for both benching, saying Nebarech Elokeinu, and for tefillah. He makes fun of the minhag that this young boy would hold a chumash in his hand. Some have a minhag that they hold a Sefer Torah. He says absolutely a minhag shtut, but you can definitely mitzaref a katan to be the 10th to the minyan if you're stuck. However, the Tosfot Harosh, even though he acknowledges that there is such an opinion of Rabbeinu Tam, afal pi shehitir Rabbeinu Tam lasot katan snifla asara letfilah b'li chumash biyado, v'lo haya noheg lasot ma'aseh kein. He thought that this is correct. He learned the Gemara and said this is the conclusion, but he didn't do it in his shul. So, therefore, it's not surprising that the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah have a disagreement about this. The Shulchan Aruch says, even though there are those that allow it, lo nerim divrehem l'gdolei haposkim. While acknowledging Rabbeinu Tam, he says this is not what most gedolei haposkim for the Shulchan Aruch, for Rav Yosef Karo, thought is the truth. And if you have 9 plus a boy under bar mitzvah, you don't have a minyan. However, the Ramah says, Mil, yesh nohagin lahakel b'sha'at adchak. The Ramah says some allow it in a very dire situation. So you can't do it on a regular basis. If you're Shabbos morning at 9 o'clock and Zman Tefillah is not caving in on us, you have another hour and a half and you don't have a minyan yet, wait. But if it's a sha'at adchak, very close to Shkia or whatever it might be, then you can have 9 over bar mitzvah plus 1 under bar mitzvah, according to the Ramah, not according to the Shulchan Aruch. And so brings Rav Hershel Schachter in his book Mipnine Harav about the Hanhagot of Rav Soloveitchik on page Kaf Zayin. He says explicitly, it was done halacha lemaaseh by Rav Soloveitchik. Rav Soloveitchik, when needed, in his minyan in Roxbury before it moved to Brookline, they sometimes did not have a minyan on time. He would absolutely rely on the Ramah, based on Rabbeinu Tam. They bring a katan as a 10th. And his source is the book written by Rabbi Mendy Gopin, Zichrono Livracha, who just passed away. In a book that he authored called Davening with the Rav, My Rabbi and My Rebbe, there's a chapter called Give Him a Siddur. And indeed, on page 11, he writes that in the early years in Brookline, the Maimonides side of town where the Rav's Minyan was, did not have a lot of people. And he explicitly says, I specifically remember one Shabbos afternoon when we had 9 men and 1 boy, age 8, who was a Maimonides student. The Rav told us to proceed with the Tfilas Mincha. Someone walked over to the boy and gave him a chumash, a common practice when being mitzaref a young boy to make a minyan. Upon seeing this, the Rav's reaction was, why give him a chumash? Give him a siddur. We're davening. Based on this, the question is, what is the crux of their machlokas? This led Rav Ovadia Yosef to the following conclusion. If you go like the Yerushalmi, in which it said that we learn it from the tribes, 10 out of the 12 brothers that went down to Egypt during the famine, they were all above Bar-Mitzva, and therefore en katan mitzaref la'asara. You can't have someone under Bar-Mitzva to join. But im lomdim eida me'adat Korach, if within the Gemara and Megillah they brought in the Korach rebellion, then maybe we can contemplate she'af ktanim bichlal, because in the rebellion of Korach, it was men, women, and children. So, as you could see, can you have 9 people above Bar Mitzvah with a 10th under Bar Mitzvah? It's dependent on the source. If the source is the brothers that went down during the famine, no dice. If the source is Eidah from the sin of the spies, we're talking about 10 people above Bar Mitzvah. If we're talking about the Korach rebellion, well, maybe both, because there were both men, women, and children involved. Then maybe you can have 9 plus another young boy. As Rashi says regarding the Korach rebellion, come and see how terrible it is when there's a machloket, a debate that's not l'shem shamayim, for the sake of heaven. Shaharei beitin shalmata, ein onshin ela ad sheyavish shtei se'arot. A Beis Din is not allowed to hold someone liable until he's above the age of Bar Mitzvah. But Beit Din Shel Ma'ala, God, Ad Esrim Shana, God says I won't punish him until he's 20. But here in the rebellion of Korach, Kan Avdu Af Yonkei Shadim. Here in the rebellion of Korach, the people that were killed were even children, because everyone got up, as the pasuk says, Yatzu Nitzavim Petacho Aleihem. They all got to the entrances of their tent to see what would happen. This included men, women, and children. That's only if you assume that the source is from the rebellion of Korach. But if the source is from the brothers, they were all above Bar Mitzvah, nothing to talk about.
צורי צורי ולא יבוא סבוי ליגיד ליגיד יושור השם